Good evening. This is All Sports with LD coming back at you with another YouTube post from my YouTube channel. And this evening I chose to discuss what's wrong with the Trojans. As I think about this, it's more of a university decision making rather than coaching. I'll take you back to the end of the Pete Carroll era. Just before Pete Carroll exited, he had two assistant coaches underneath him, Lane Kiffin and Steve Sarkisian. Under the two assistant coaches, that offense was explosive. I remember watching those games during that time period, and I couldn't wait from week to week to see what this offense would do. Consequently, Pete Carroll exited to the NFL to coach the Seahawks. The university chose to hire in-house, which is not a big deal because most companies hire in-house. So they started first with Lane Kiffin. The first season as head coach, the team went 8-5, 2010. Respectable. It's okay, not great. Second season, 2011, they go 10-2. Much better from 2010. Yet, no conference title, no bowl games, just like the season before. No conference titles, no bowl games. The third season, 2012, they go 7-6, one game above 500. Interestingly enough, they make it to a bowl game this year, which is odd for me because it's one game under over 500. You would think the two previous seasons they would have gone to a bowl game. So they go to the Sun Bowl and they lose. So as head coach under the Trojans, he's 0-1 in bowl games. Then 2013 comes up. They go 3-2, and he's fired 9/28, 2013. Now, his total record with SC is 28-15. Not a bad record, not great. Winning percentage is 65%. So an argument could be made. Let Kiffin coach out 2013, and then let him go, or he resigns, or what have you at the end. But university just decided to go a different way, which is not a huge deal because I wasn't too high on Lane Kiffin anyway. Here's where, in my opinion, the university made its mistake. Enters Ed Orgeron to step in as interim coach for the remainder of the 2013 season. They finished 6-2. Now, he didn't coach in the bowl game because he resigned before that bowl game happened. And he resigned because the university overlooked Orgeron. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing the name right. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Orgeron. December 2nd, 2013, they hired Steve Sarkisian. But Ed Orgeron was actually the coach that the USC Trojans needed, because there was a huge difference between the young man playing on the Orgeron versus Lane Kiffin. They played with energy, they played with effort, and you can see they played with excitement. But like I said, university made a mistake in overlooking Ed Orgeron to hire Steve Sarkisian. So we enter the 2014-2015 season. They finished 8-4, but midway through the season, Steve Sarkisian is fired. Later on, it turns out he's showing up at a school event with the smell of alcohol on his breath. And I understand university, has to deal with this, no problem there. Again, I wasn't really high on Steve Sarkisian as a head coach. Then it brings us to Clay Helton. Like I said, they finished 8-4, 2014-2015 season, and that was partly due to Clay Helton, which is fine. As I watched that year, there were some things that I saw I didn't like from Clay Helton as a coach, but I figure interim coach, we'll see what happens. So he gets the head coaching job. Then we enter the 2016 season. They go 10-3. They advance to the Rose Bowl, and they barely beat Penn State 52-49. And I can remember saying to a close friend of mine, Clay Helton is not the right coach for this team. There were a number of things I didn't like about his coaching style. Number one, the offense was unimaginative. It was predictable. And I felt like he could not coach these guys. There were just a number of different things that were happening throughout the season. Dumb mental mistakes, poor tackling, poor fundamental skills. But they go 10-3, gets the Rose Bowl, and barely beat Penn State. Second season, 2017, they go 11-3. They advance to the Cotton Bowl. This year, they win the Pac-12 Conference Champion. They lose the Cotton Bowl, though. 2018, they go 5-7. And this is where what I said at the end of 2016 year is when it really started to show why I said Clay Helton was not a good coach for this school. So 2018, they go 5-7, no conference championship, no bowl selection. 2019, let me back up. So after that 2018 season, this is where I felt the university should have let Clay Helton go. But they stuck with him. So 2019, okay, they go a respectable 8-5. They get to the Holiday Bowl and lose. 2020, now this is where, again, I said after the 2018 season, I felt the university should have parted ways with Clay Helton. But enter 2020. Now, this was a shortened season because of COVID. I get it. But for me, it was unacceptable. You know, as a Trojan fan, you go undefeated, and then you get to the Pac-12 championship, and you lose to a team that wasn't even supposed to be there. How does this happen? As I said before, and I said to many friends, wife included, anyone that will listen, Clay Helton is not the man for this job. Inexplicably, they stuck with him after losing the Pac-12 championship to Oregon. Enter 2021. He goes 1-1, and then all of a sudden they fire him. Now, I believe when you look up Clay Helton's record, I believe they're padding his record because I believe they say it's 46-24. I'm not going to give him credit for the interim coach tag. I just won't, because part of that was Sarkisian. Sarkisian gets credit for part of that season of them going 8-4. So I can't give him credit for that season. So I show that he went 40 wins and 20 losses. Again, good, not great, 67% winning percentage. But here is where it really shows up. Bowl games. He was 1-2 in bowl games, a 33% winning percentage. That is horrible and unacceptable. Like I said, after the 2018 season, the university said let him go. As a consequence for him the university sticking with him this long, it comes out that they started to lose recruits, national recruits in the state of California. They were like, we're not playing under Clay Helton. We're going elsewhere to play. See, when that starts to happen as a university, you must look hard and close as to why you're sticking with this coach who is now losing top recruits. And I get it, everyone's excited that they finally let him go, but to me, this was long overdue, and the university put Trojan football at a disadvantage of all the rest of the teams in the Pac-12. So what I would like to see them do is no longer hire in-house. The current interim coach, I believe, is Dante Williams. He seems like a nice person. I don't have anything personal against. I don't know him, but currently this team is mediocre, and it's coming from the Clay Helton era, and they should just simply move on from Dante Williams and this coaching staff. Going forward, what they need is, number one, in a head coach, a leader that shows accountability to himself, his coaching staff, and the players. Number two, they need a great recruiter and head coach. They can no longer let go or allow the top recruits in the state of California to go to other schools. Three, he must be a head coach that knows his X and O's. And number four, win games and win championships. This is where I think USC needs to go, university, and making the decision when this current season is over. In my opinion, no more of the in-house guys. They need to go after a real winner in a coach. Well, that's all I have for this short post. Tell me what you think in the comments. And again, like, subscribe, and share this post. Until next time, have a good one.